Hello, hello! I am here with Monsieur Irminator, one of my favourite tarantulas, and I rehoused him into this not too long ago. Well, we've had the hotter weather here in the UK. He's actually molted again, and although he'll be okay in that house, I'm not a big fan of this design. It's just awkward and clunky. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of it. We've got another Psalmopius victori, which needs to be rehoused into something taller. So, for the sake of it, we've got a few of these. I think that's I want to say it's 10 by 20. I might be wrong there. No, I'm sure it is 10 by 10 by 20. So anyway, they're spare, but we haven't really got that many huge tarantulas that would benefit in it. So I thought this would be a good time to show you the other side of tarantula keeping, which I find extremely therapeutic, and that's building the houses. So first of all, I will get this fella out the way. So the spider that's in here is a Venezuelan sun tiger. He molted yesterday, possibly the day before, so he's not fully hardened up yet, but I'm going to build his new house here and then try and rehouse him. So yeah, so you can see I've already taken my bark. Let me just move this, try and keep a better view. So this is just bark that I collect in small woodlands when I'm out walking with the dogs, and if I see anything that looks handy, I pick it up. And what I like to do, I'm not a fan of the plastic acrylic look. So if I find good pieces of bark, I like to line the back panel with bark. And that, it just makes a more natural looking appearance. And I find that the spiders that I have done this to in their enclosures actually tend to be a little bit more relaxed when it comes to kind of poking around and prodding. So all I do is I just standard glue gun, a little bit of hot glue, and stick it to the back wall. It dries quick, it's non-toxic, very easy to use, which is perfect. I go through multiple tests and placements to see where I like the wood to be before I go ahead and fix them in place, because once they're in place you're not moving them, not without making an absolute mess of the acrylic. So, and you can see how easy this is. Literally takes minutes, but it makes a much nicer aesthetic for the spiders, as well as having functional purpose of giving them depth and a more natural enclosure. So now, I'll make sure that door still shuts. Yep. Excellent. My only gripe is that one's a little bit too close to the top. So I'll leave it lying like that now for a few minutes, just to let the glue lower itself to the back wall. Just trying to see. I think this one is a spare. You can see the glue that I blobbed on there, and so the back of it's quite hideous, but when you turn it around it's got much nicer depth. Now there's not a spider in there at the moment, but that's one that I made. Yeah, they definitely seem happier and more relaxed, and I think another benefit of filling out the back wall is it darkens the back end of the enclosure, so they feel more secure when they're trying to hide. So I need to make a burrow now, and I've got this whole, just show you, I've got a tray of cork bark pieces, and all I do, sometimes, not for all of them, is I will fix them together with hot glue. I like to find ones that are curved, and that makes a nice burrow for them to hide in. And all I'll do is glue 2 curved pieces together that kind of fit semi-snug. Anything that can give the spider a nice natural looking retreat. I quite like those 2 pieces, but they're a bit awkward to get together. Although I think that's it there. That is it. And again, get my hot glue gun. I could sit, some days I've had days off work and which way did I have that? That way. No, that way. Oh no. I think it was there like that. And I've sat for some time just building enclosures for the tarantulas, which aren't necessarily needed urgently, but I find it very relaxing. I'm having trouble with this. I'm gonna hold this for a while and until it's dry. Okay, so that's mostly dry, a bit more rigid. So another thing I like to do when I'm making a nice high quality enclosure is these are literally aquarium plants, and I don't need the weight at the bottom. And all I like to do is pull them apart. I don't know if this is even going to come apart, but I like to use the little pieces to decorate the burrows with. And that, I think 3 will be plenty. Yes, so all I'm going to do, using my glue gun, is probably attach these somewhere on the back. I do like the little grass. That might be my favourite one. And I think that should definitely sit in there. So let's put a blob of hot glue in there. Press my grass in. Now I always try and be careful not to press my fingers or thumbs into the hot glue, which I have done, and it burns. Not the nicest experience, especially when you're trying to be gentle. I did want that kind of sticking upright. I mean, the tarantula's going to web it up probably anyway and make a mess of it, but at least for a few seconds it'll look good. What I might do is put a splodge there to wedge it in place. So it takes longer building the homes than it does to get the spiders in the homes, typically, unless the spider goes AWOL. There we go. And these little leaves I'm going to plant. I'm going to fix here on the inside so that it would appear that they're growing out of the old wood. Put a generous serving on there. Da-da-da-da. Should probably do it. And once this is dry, I'm ready then to start actually constructing the house with the substrate and other things. Right, let's start putting this together. So I'm going to get some substrate. I've got a load that I keep in a cool box that's ready to go whenever I need it. A few cups in there. And the good thing with keeping it in a cool storage box is it actually retains the moisture quite well without keeping it soggy. That's probably going to be enough. Yeah, and the water bowl. Now I'm always torn with where to put these because they can be very awkward to maintain if the tarantulas web them up. I'm going to glue gun, because this is an arboreal species, I'm actually going to glue gun it to the side up here. There we go. Ready for our Psalmopius erminea, Venezuelan sun tiger. So now the fun bit. Let me get ready. Annoyingly, my battery is running low in the pocket camera. So I need this to go really smooth. Just wondering if I should use my trusty bottle. I can try and walk him out and walk him in. What do we think? I say let's do it. See what happens. So now you'll see why I'm not a fan of this enclosure. It's really awkward to work with. And it's very awkward to maintain. I ended up putting a chunk of glue from the glue gun on top, because that feeding hatch was a nightmare to open. Absolute pain. Right, let's see if we can get the sun tiger out nicely. Let me get everything ready. Okay. Now I can hopefully just tickle him and get him to walk backwards out without provoking him too much. There we go. Really nice. I'm not sure how well you can see that. Anyway, it's in. Glorious.